What's up, everybody? It's me, Jabi of the Sonshine Enterprise and the Sonshine Grind, and welcome back to our dropshipping series. So today we're going to be covering part 2 of our dropshipping series, and we're going to be talking about 5 steps to easily set up your dropshipping store. So part 1, we discuss why you should set up a dropshipping store. If you haven't checked that out, I'm going to drop the link in my bio. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So tip number 1 to set up your new dropshipping store. You need to decide what it is that you're selling. So it's one of 2 routes that most companies, business owners go in. Either to create a niche market and a niche website. So for example, say you wanted to set up a personal fitness website and you sold yoga mats and free weights and jump ropes and things like that. So you would have a very specific niche of individuals that will come to your site to buy things in this category. The other route you could take is to be making branded things. So that means, for example, the Sonshine Grind, that's my brand. That's what the shirts would say. I will create designs. And that's the model that I have with my dropshipping store. So if you have a brand and a business already in place, or you're a designer or creator, it's better to go with option B. But if you don't, it's sometimes better to go with option A, especially if it's something that you know a lot about. Like if you know a lot about fitness equipment or hair or something very specific, you know what products to pick and which you should list on your website. So first, choose what route you're taking. And then number 2, what you're going to select is how will you be drop shipping. So there's pretty much 2 options you have. You can do domestic drop shipping, which is something that most people do when they are creating more branded things. Like for example, this I Grind for Mine shirt. This was printed here. It's dropped off in like 5 days to the client. I can easily create new designs and they're going to be here. So that's if you're doing print on demand. Usually domestically, you can go that route. Now, if you want to actually sell items like going back to the free weights, the yoga mats, things like that, you want to be getting those things at a really affordable price, you're going to be probably doing international drop shipping. So the only thing that's a little sucky about that right now is that we're having the big cargo crisis. So if you were to start internationally drop shipping right now, this would kind of be a tough time to do that because there are so many cargo ships that are stuck outside of California right now. So, maybe come back to that concept after we get through that little issue in the pandemic bottleneck. Once you determine if it's going to be domestic or international, now let me tell you some great benefits to the international route. And I do want you to take your notebooks out because I am going to be telling you guys the websites as well. So if you were to go to international route, you could do some really cool things, especially once you start creating over a certain amount. So once you are getting orders of 100, 1,000, things like that, you can start doing custom marketing. You can pay for like in your actual packages, you can pay to have your name put on the item. It is really expensive to do that with small bulks, but it's really worth it when you're doing it in bigger quantities, right? And you can create relationships with these guys that can store their stuff at their warehouse, which would allow for faster shipping when people do order it. So it's a lot of cool dynamics that come with the international option of drop shipping and the access you have to so many options because it's coming from China. So the website that most people use for this is Alibaba. So I know a lot of you guys are familiar with AliExpress, which is the customer facing part of the business, but Alibaba is the retailer version of the business. So that's where you want to look for your items, especially if you are doing a niche drop shipping store. Now, when you are doing something domestically and you're printing on demand and you're doing things like t-shirts and hoodies and notebooks and mugs and book bags, things like that, you can use one of these websites. And these are the order that I like them. So Printful is my number 1. Great option, no minimums required. It ships to the client in about 3 to 5 days. They will do custom marketing if you want to pay for that. They can also store your items in their warehouse so you can get next day shipping. That's another benefit of Printful. The second one is Printfive. So very similar to Printful, no minimums required. Similar in pricing, it's actually a little bit cheaper for some things. Like for example, my notebooks are actually through Printfive instead of Printful. So, check out the pricing as well. It's another really good option. And then the third one will probably be Redbubble. So the only thing that I don't like about this one is that it doesn't integrate into an independent website platform. But for some people who want things easy, they like it this way. But for people who want to be able to like really customize things and have like a website they're running in a very specific way, they don't like that option. But you can mark it up just like you would with the other options. With all of these options, basically what they do is give you a flat rate price. So, for example, a shirt will be $15, and then you mark it up and you put it at $20 or $30 or whatever the client pays for the item, and then the amount that's yours, your profit, is then sent to you directly into your bank account, depending on which payment processor you selected. Okay. So that's how a drop shipping works. I hope that makes sense. So let's go ahead and jump into tip number 3. So tip number 3 is going to be choose your hosting platform. So as I was just saying, you have the ability with most of these drop shippers to put it on a customized website. So that means Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, any of those platforms. You can build your website right through there and set up your drop shipping right through there. So your designs will be right there. When people make the orders, they go directly to who they need to automatically. You don't have to play middleman or anything like that. So it's really cool. So you want to decide what hosting platform you're going to use. I personally am testing Shopify right now because I never use Shopify, but I hear great things about it. So I am operating the Sonshine Grinds website from Shopify to see if I like it. It does have some really cool tools. But most websites that I build for clients and the website platform that I use for Sonshine Enterprise is actually Wix. So in the event that I decide not to like Shopify in the coming months, I am going to move the website over to Wix because it's a platform that I greatly enjoy and I'm really familiar with. All right. So tip number 4 to easily setting up that website, you're going to buy your custom domain. Guys, you do not want to have a website like sunshine-grinds-shopify.com, or nor do you want something like fitnesswear at bigcartel.com. Like, no one's gonna remember that. It's gonna look really junky when that's the link in your bio, and it's gonna be really difficult to tell people that out loud. Like, yeah, go to my website. It's sunshine-grind-1245-shopify.com. Right. So you want to make sure that you purchase a custom domain. Now, I know a lot of you guys love GoDaddy, and I want to be the person to let you know, if no one else has let you know before, they suck. So I would highly recommend that you purchase your domains through Google Domains. They're $12 a year. They're super integratable with all the other Google tools, and I love it. And you can set up 1,000,000 email addresses and forward them to free Google accounts, and it's awesome and amazing. Okay, so make sure you buy a custom domain so people can go to sunshinegrind.com, sunshineenterprise.com, yourstore.com, right? And my final tip number 5, is market that business like crazy. Okay, make sure you order some samples. Make sure you wearing your merch. Make sure you're wearing it when you are producing content. Make sure you're wearing it out in the streets, and when people ask about it, make sure you have a card on hand or be really ready to tell them the website. Be encouraging them to go to it right then or sign up on your email list. So a really cool tactic that I love using when I'm at face-to-face events with people is to get them on my email list, like in my face. So they say like, oh, I love this and what you're doing, I want to keep up with you, anything like that. I'm like, here, sign up for my email list, and I'll just have it already open on my phone. So all they got to do is put their name and their email address in there, and that's a lot easier than like trying to get them to go to your website and then click on it, like we just like here. Now, of course, we're in the times of COVID, so it's not as manageable or feasible to just hand people your phone, but, maybe do it with an iPad, or maybe even take a little paper list, But yes, you want to market like crazy. You want to be wearing your samples. Alright guys, so we will get all into marketing in part 3 of the dropshipping series, and I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you now know how to set up your dropshipping store and you understand a little bit more about how dropshipping works. If you got any other questions, particularly about how to set up your store, drop your questions below, and I'll see you guys in part 3. Peace.